Hello guys, welcome to my channel. So before I get into this video, I did a video recently before this one, before I went out and came back again, about this podcaster called Connected Mind Podcast. He just recently started this podcast of a thing, but his channel is growing up very fast at that because he's kind of interviewing well-known popular YouTubers, well-known personnels, and I was like, that's very good. You can just, how podcast works. Some people will just give opinions, they share their minds, and people react to it. People give commentary videos on it. It turns out that he's one bittered kind of guy because once you make commentary on his videos and he sees that that video is getting views more than yours, he just strikes you. And that's what he did to one creator. And I did commentary analysis on one of his video, which I know there's a fair use policy app on YouTube, but I didn't even want his problem. Before you know, he came to drop a comment on my comment section that can't I give him credit for his work? Okay, like that. He just put it there. Immediately I just deleted that video because I don't want anybody to strike me, and I'm just connected mind or whatever you are. I'll try not to react on your videos, but I can't promise you that. I will just make sure that it's within the fair use policy of YouTube so that by the time you copyright claim me or try to strike, at least I will win. And YouTube would know that there's something called fair use policy. But you don't go on and about striking people. It just makes you become a villain on YouTube. So that aside, we are going to be talking about Kenyan Parliament House this morning. Depending on when you are watching this video, these MPs and senators, they have a way of just surprising people. They have a way of embarrassing their citizens. So in Nigeria, there is a time that a senator was climbing wall. They was climbing wall because they were fighting on one bill that the chief speaker refused to pass. There was also a time they took the mace and was knocking it on their head. Like another time they were fighting, like boxing. Other people, how senators and MPs, they are not really young people, especially in Nigeria. They are not young people. The least of them, the youngest of them, I think is in his late 40s or so. So they are not young people. 70, they are there in the House of Parliament and House of Senate. So I was like, let me even check out how Kenyan's House of Senate is. Maybe they are just as uncouth, or maybe day to day have some funny movements. And I thought I would be disappointed. How Kenyans can really portray themselves, how they carry themselves, but it turns out that we are all the same. And I saw one video of one really young woman, very daring woman in the House of Parliament. I hope my mic is working. And she was just standing up to one guy called Sifuna. The way she was talking, I was like, before you know, Mr. Speaker, please protect me. Mr. Speaker, please protect me. The other Sifuna guy was saying, you cannot say that. You don't have evidence. And so I was like, this is just so funny. The bunch of clowns in this house. And I say, is what reacting to. So that's what we're going to be reacting to. Without further ado, let's just start.
This house, because I think everybody deserves a second chance. And most importantly, because I note that we are all not made equal. All human beings are made very differently. And there is no way that we all want to conform or confine human beings to behave in a particular way or express themselves in a particular way. For those of you who think they are gifted in expressing yourselves or projecting your frustrations, not everybody can be like you. And as a mature human being, and a leader, what we need to learn is how to tolerate each other.
Honestly, which is not bad. She's trying to lay like a foundation of what she's going to say, because she know that people will have differences on what she's going to say. Some people are not going to be okay with what she's going to say. So she's kind of laying a foundation that we might be different. Let's just accommodate one another. Let's tolerate one another. We are leaders, we are senators, we are MPs. Let's show good example. Like she was laying foundation to the banger she's going to drop, as if she already knew her colleague would have error with it. And what she said was not really even bad. Let's just continue and see what Sifuna. I don't know whether Sifuna means another thing or is the name of the guy, but the way the guy was responding.
If you know that this particular person has this kind of character, then know how to tolerate that character and respect who they are.
Honestly.
Because we all have different characters. We all have different personalities. And again, secondly, let's not forget that we are talking about sexual harassment here.
Aha.
This is something that has been downplayed over so many years, and a lot of us have gone through so many frustrations of refusing to be employed because of sexual advances from particularly the men.
This, when I tell you that this is an occurrence, it happens everywhere, even in the most developed countries, civilized, Western countries. They are facing this issue a lot, and it happens to both men and women. It's general, but it's just that the women own is more pronounced, because it often usually happens more than in ratio comparing to the men's own, but it's just a universal something. So she was just saying all that, trying to advocate for
Not
better
only
this thing.
that, there are also young men in offices
True.
who I know have gone through a lot of sexual harassment from ladies.
I don't know, this
All the
usually
ladies.
happen in Kenya though.
And I'm very frustrated as a young person in this country, because that has been the norm within this nation, that somebody will be asked for sexual favors. If you don't conform, you remain jobless.
Price, because me, I was thinking that yes, it happens in civilized world in Nigeria, but I didn't know that it happened in Kenya. And if you have similar experience, please leave it down in the comment section. So that was what she was just saying, and I'm happy that she balanced it out when she said that men and women are involved. Now, in fact, she talked a whole lot. This is just 1 minute 41 seconds. She talked a whole lot, but let me just fast forward it to when the speaker responded to her, then allowed Sifuna to talk.
The thing this house should be discussing is how to prevent sexual harassment. And a lot of times when the victim has been harassed,
They will say
you
no
are not
evidence.
in a position to get evidence.
Yes, it's true.
Things flow and you don't have evidence.
True. That's it. If something doesn't have evidence, it's just so difficult to prove.
Azena.
Azena.
Point of order. And let us also not continue just raising point of orders.
No, Mr. Speaker. I
Sifuna
am
wants
not
to
in the
talk.
habit of raising frivolous points of order. Understanding Order 120, again to remind this House, that the report before us is a report of the Powers and Privileges Committee. In this particular case, nobody has accused Gloria of being an assertive woman. Nobody has accused her of lack of proper expression. We are not saying she cannot express
Your
herself.
point
She's
of
one of the
order.
most eloquent senators in this House. The report of the House is very simple. She made allegations.
Yeah.
She needed to substantiate.
With evidence.
She failed to substantiate. There are consequences of dragging people's names through the mud, and then you don't say it. You don't come here to lecture us
evidence.
about sexual this,
Sifuna.
sexual that. Show us the evidence.
You
Show
see?
us the evidence.
No. And that was what she was saying, that I don't think maybe something like this happened to her. I don't know. It happened to her, but she doesn't have evidence. Or maybe she's trying to protect women that things like this happen to, but there is no evidence. I've not been in that position, so I can't really say. But one thing I know is, in law, once you allege something, you have to provide evidence. But it's so difficult, especially in things like this. Some, they will record them, but they'll make sure you delete that recording before you leave their office. So it's either the police people or the authority just takes your word for it, and hopefully when they investigate, they find some more incriminating little piece of evidence here. But that the victim will submit the evidence, it's really rare. So Sifuna was really aggressive, and I know that. How can you just be generalizing and you're an assertive woman? I don't know why men get triggered if they see an assertive woman. I'm not that bold, but I'm not timid either. But there are some women that are, and they pass their point fairly. I don't think there should be an issue. If you're a man and you are having issue with someone that can express her mind as a woman, I don't think it's a good thing, right? Sifuna got really angry.
Show us the evidence.
Show us the evidence.
Nobody is interested in sexual advances here.
Senator
Allah.
Sifuna. Senator Sifuna, you cannot put exact ones that any senator should use in this house. As long as she is contributing on this particular matter.
Oh,
She is
let her
contributing on
talk
this
now.
particular matter. If I listen, she is defending women and young leaders, young women leaders.
In fact,
so to me, she is not out of order.
that's it now. That's her job as a senator.
Azena, proceed and conclude your minutes.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is exactly what happens when young women are assertive in this country.
True.
And it is time, Mr. Speaker. Some people, I am.
Members, senators,
I am.
Exactly.
And I have the right to be heard.
Honestly.
Because Mr. Speaker,
And she's so young.
protect me, Mr. Speaker.
Protect me, Mr. Speaker. What is the name of you people speaker?
From
What is his
people
name?
exhibiting chauvinism, male chauvinism.
Senator, stop addressing members. Just proceed and conclude your.
And they are both young people.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Senator Sifuna does not utilize
Sifuna.
my eyes. I do not use your eyes to read the report.
Oh.
Or do you live with me? There is no way you will know if I read the report or not. So stick to your lane.
Senator, stop addressing members directly. Address the chair.
I can't stop laughing. The day I watched this thing, I was like, so it happens to in Kenyan house.
Mr. Speaker, as I continue, like I reiterated, that what we need to discuss in this house is how to protect people and young women especially from sexual harassment. Why? Because a lot of times when these allegations are made or we have cases like this, a lot of times it's thrown under the bus because there is no evidence. And in a lot of instances when this is happening, you do not even have time to get evidence.
True. Which is true. It just remains like some seconds for the content for this video to end, and she was just reiterating what she has been saying earlier before Sifuna allowed us. What is her name? Is it Gloria or Zainab? I didn't get it clearly. Please, what is the name of that your speaker, and why is he using that cap? Is that the cap that the speakers used to use in your house of Senate? I don't know that there are clowns too in Kenya's House of Parliament, just like in Nigerians. Once they start their display like this, you cannot help but laugh. And they should know that their plenary session, and most of their sittings are being televised. I don't know, maybe they forgot that. Did they Nigeria? In fact, if you go and search it on YouTube now, Nigeria House of Assembly Senate members fighting, you will come and see boxing in the house. Prestigious senators. I was like, this is hilarious. When I saw this video, I was like, no, I must react on this video. And the fact that I had to private Connected Mind podcast just back off my channel. Yes. And I want to really analyze one of your videos that I found interesting. You don't have to threaten to strike, especially if it's within the fair use. Anyway, that by the way, it just keep getting to me, and I don't know why. I was shocked and surprised that those type of harassment also exist in Kenya. I thought it's only Nigeria that they are battling that. Is very prevalent almost in every sector here. Before you get a job, you have to do some favors, and if you don't do that, you remain jobless. It's so pathetic that it happens to both men and women. If you find this video educating and funny, and you have any contribution, please leave all your contribution down in the comment section, and see you guys in my next video.